Hi everyone, I'm Patricia Ramirez and welcome to Pairfect, where we explore the heart of passion, purpose, and the connections that shape who we are. Today, we step into the inspiring world of dermatology, healthcare, leadership, and entrepreneurship. Our guest today is a visionary behind The Good Derma, a brand that carries forward the legacy of her father, Dr. Vinson B. Pineda, widely known as the father of Philippine dermatology, while innovating in skin and hair care for modern Filipinos. Please help me welcome today to Pairfect, Dr. Angela T. Pineda. Good afternoon, Dr.
Good
And thank you
afternoon.
for visiting us here at Daily Tribune. So we are really curious of the transition as well as your
Mm-hmm.
story from Dermclinic now to Good Derma. So for Dermclinic, it was built on your father's vision.
Mm-hmm.
So for a healthier Filipino as well as a more
Mm-hmm.
confident Filipino. So for Good Derma, you currently now mark a milestone alongside the
Mm-hmm.
55th year of Dermclinic. So what core foundations and leadership philosophies have you learned or has guided the business today?
Yeah. So of course, my dad started early.
Mhm.
And then so I was actually entering the business late, or I
Mhm.
entered even medicine late na,
Oh,
2000s already.
okay.
So he already established it. So
Mm.
technically, the first while I was getting involved, I
Mm.
realized that he really made a mark the past
Mm.
50
50
years,
years.
or like since 1971. He was already establishing derm
Mm.
clinic. He already established the products, but
Mm.
that was also the time during the pandemic.
Oh,
Nung
okay.
50 years, our
Mm.
50th year was in 2021.
Yes. Wow.
So,
At the height of the
yeah, at the height
pandemic.
of the pandemic. And then, at the same time, that was also one of the seasons or
Mm.
years ago when my dad was also already transitioning the
Mm.
management,
Mm. To you.
the plans. We were already collaborating.
Oh, okay.
So, of course, we know na since 1971
Mm.
up to 2021 or
Mm.
up to present, there are a lot of differences in
Mm.
terms of how you talk to the market,
Mm.
how you communicate, and
Mm.
even there's a need I understood the need to value the
Mm.
brand
Mm.
or the legacy that father has built,
Mm.
but we also wanted to be able to communicate it afresh to the
Mm.
newer market.
Yes.
So that's where the Good Derma came in.
Mm.
The Good Derma is of course, that's why it's dermatology.
Mm.
So it's because he really made that mark
Yeah.
in
Being the
dermatology.
father of
Yeah,
Philippine
he was
dermatology.
deemed as most
Yeah.
of his colleagues. Actually, when I was younger,
Mm.
after I finished medicine, I started attending his
Mm.
conferences. He
Wow.
was one of the presidents of one of the dermatological
Mm.
societies
In the
here
Philippines.
in the Philippines. So I was surprised because I was just walking in like
Mm.
unknowingly, and then all the doctors were just flocking to him
Okay.
because he was one of those who really trained them in
Mm.
terms of their
Okay.
skills, in
Mm.
terms of how they've achieved their careers.
Mm.
So yun din yun. That's why dermatology is the core. But the
Mm.
good, I think, because when we were young, my father really emphasized
Mm.
the value of being good,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
it's not just about being the best can be good, but
Mm.
sometimes if you're best now, someone else can be better in the
Mm.
future. So if you aim for that, it's gonna be a never ending cycle of you really tiring yourself.
Mm.
But if you focus on the good,
Ah.
'di ba? It
Yeah.
it talks about the heart. It's not
Mm.
about you competing with the
With
world.
anyone
It's
else.
about you just doing what you're supposed to do.
Mm.
So that's where the good derma really came
Comes in.
in. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
So you shared earlier that growing up, You have already seen your father as your own role model. But ever since like a kid, have you already thought that you'll be a doctor? That is it the first thing that you thought you'll be in the future?
Yes. I think it was a big influence because when I was younger, after school, my playroom would be in his office.
Oh, and you'll visit the
Yes.
clinics.
And then even my yaya before, or whoever I was with, my aunt, when they would bring me to the clinic, I would see my dad treating them. And I remember when I was young, I can't remember what age, but around 7 or 8, like my dad just finished an operation, like a
Okay.
dermatological operation.
Wow.
So it's done in clinic, but I remember it because medyo bloody din.
Okay, okay.
It's not like threatening. It's done in clinic, but kaya alam ko siya. So early on, I was kind of exposed
And you
already.
got curious na.
Yeah. So, and of course, I don't know, but for most kids growing up, I think being a doctor meant helping people.
Yeah.
'Di ba?
That
So
is true.
parang medyo ganun yung understanding ko lang. But I really never, my dad has been low-key, meaning that he never really made us see that, oh, this is me, this is the name that I built, this is what you're supposed to do. So I was never aware of it. I just knew that I wanted to be a doctor.
To be just like your
Yeah,
father.
yun lang yung only perspective that I had. But when I went into medicine, I started exploring actually. I knew in hindsight that, oh, my dad's a derma, so possible na yun yung
Yun yung
pathway.
papuntahan
Yes,
mo.
but he didn't actually pressure me to be,
Yeah.
you have to do
Yeah,
this.
because some would think na, of course, you are carrying a torch from your father, so they'll think na baka mamaya
Yeah, oo.
grooming to
Yeah,
be the
oo.
next. But it wasn't.
I
It
think
was
he
really on your
knew
own.
that he wanted, of course,
Yeah.
sino namang ayaw, di
Yeah.
ba? But he gave me that space to kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
So he presented it out there, even when he was inviting me to join him. It was like parang, you wanna join me? Pero hindi siya yung parang, you
Pushy,
have to
hindi
do
naman
this.
pushy
Yes,
type.
oo. So that's why I think that was also gracious of him because it allowed me to not rush. It allowed me to figure out if this was what I wanted to do. So that's when I got into following him. And then I realized, oh, I like this as well. I like talking to patients because there are a lot of specialties, but there are surgeries, there are internal medicine, obstetrics, there is pediatrics. So there are a lot of specialties that I wanted. I even thought of becoming a pediatrician kasi I
You
love
love
kids.
kids.
Yeah. So, but I realized dermatology has a different approach. It's very personal.
Yes.
It's ang lapit ng attachment even to
your patients.
Yeah, because it has to be trust. Because it's too close to home,
Yeah.
diba? It's my skin. It's something that
And it's
you
an
see.
external factor that you can see every day.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the Good Derma, that it was launched at the height of the pandemic. So during the 50th year, how did you approach building a new brand? And basically also consolidating them into
I
one
think
branding.
I had a lot of questions. I really asked a lot of questions. I think I started working with my dad 2015. So
Oh, okay.
technically, we were kind of more than 5 years already working together. But it was only, I think, during the pandemic that I had time because technically things were at a pause.
Yeah.
But I had time, I guess, to internalize. Like, why did you do this? Like, diba, why did you start this? And then, as I was asking him questions, that was also when I was discovering his heart behind it. It's why he wanted. He just wanted to help people because he himself suffered from acne when he was younger.
Oh,
So, kaya dun
okay.
siya, hindi siya nanggaling na I just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And then he really struggled with
hugot.
acne.
May hugot
Oo,
siya.
he struggled with it growing up. He went to different dermas. Tapos, I even asked him, how was it? Na parang
Yeah.
feeling niya it was never enough,
Yeah.
even there. So that's why he kind of made it his mission to, because he went through the same problems.
Yes.
And then when I asked him, why did you venture into, like, hair transplant,
Yeah.
diba? Yung mga ganon, that's when I discovered na,
And he is also the first one to think and really solve this problem.
Yes. And I
lalo na
think
sa Filipinos.
doon ko rin nakita, it wasn't because he was aiming for something great. And when I asked him, he just told me that because ang dami nagtatanong sa akin na patients eh. Alam mo yon, he was just, as a doctor, looking for ways as to how he can help his patients.
Oh,
So yun din talaga yung pinanggalingan. That's why for me, we really didn't look for another team. When we heard about the good derma, when we were conceptualizing, it just felt right. Because it was the derma that was there, but at the same time, one of the things that I think I learned from my dad, it's never to try to boost yourself ahead, but to just be good and do what you can
At
to
your
share
own pace.
goodness, and then everyone else will recognize it. Diba? I think with others, anyone can claim na I'm the best, and then another will claim I'm the best.
But it's better if someone
Diba?
else is
But if
actually
someone else
recognizes
will
it.
go to you,
Yeah.
good, nothing really can question that, because it's about how you do things. It's about your motivation. It's about what your inspiration is. And I think that's what I learned from my dad. He always taught us early on that your patients are the king and queen of the clinic. It's like, it's not just about you doing it, but it's about really a heart of service. And as a doctor, yun nga din yung naging leaning ko. And then I saw him, he really treated his patients with utmost care. Even with everything that we do, whether it's Dermclinic or the Good Derma, our heart is really just to be able to reach that patients with care. And I think there was a time when, throughout my time with my dad, na yung dad ko kasi medyo, he's really very passionate. So there was a time that he was really, there was that passion na he was, parang it felt to me that he was fighting for a cause. And I was figuring out, what was he fighting for? And I realized,
there was so much passion.
yeah, I realized it was because, especially nowadays, parang ang laki ng gap between the people and reaching dermatology. Right? Like, if I'm a normal person, I can't reach that.
Some would think of affordability. Of course, the others would be time. Kasi if you really wanted to go to a clinic, of course, it will take not just 30 minutes.
Yeah.
No? Especially depending na sa pangangailangan. So, also, you mentioned during the pandemic, so most of that setup would probably be harder, I think, for medical professionals.
Yeah.
There are certain kailangan na may mga face masks or like number of people inside the clinic. So was also that a point of your shift to also focus more on the products
I
in the
think we
market?
realized na, yun nga, when things shift, di ba? Kasi, Dermclinic, we serve our patients. Kung sino lang yung makakapunta. But siguro, when the pandemic hit, and then things were online, we had to convert to online consultations.
So you
Diba?
also did
So,
online consult.
I remember having patients as far as Bicol, as far as wherever, because people were needing consult. Like, they didn't know what to do with their skin. Like, there were rashes that were appearing, alam mo yun, na and then I remember talking to a patient, and they're looking for relief, diba? And sometimes, we think that you really need to do a major move, but they really just need, what can we do? What can we put on our skin?
Yeah.
And that's really what the Good Derma is. It's kind of bridging the gap. It doesn't mean na, because sooner or later, like us as in the dermatology practice, kilala kasi siya na, pagpapaayos, ganyan. But there are actually basic skin concerns that everyone has.
Yes.
Acne, hair fall.
Yeah.
Diba? Madami, like rashes. Everyone has rashes. Dumating nung pandemic, nagkaroon ng allergic contact dermatitis even with the use of gloves.
Yeah.
Nagkaroon
Kasi
ng
latex.
mask me. Yeah, so ang daming akala lang natin it's too far-fetched, but it's actually affecting our everyday lives. It's part of what we've experienced, and it's important for us, or what I've learned is it's important for us to share the right products. So that's what I discovered. Ang dami naming naging cases na medyo malala in terms of, for example, nag-try ako ng online. I just bought whatever's available.
Yeah, kasi more on influencing na yung these days eh.
Yeah.
Parang pag nakita mo, but it's not necessarily good for your own skin.
Yeah. Tapos they would come in the clinic mga 6 months after. Sabi ko, ba't hindi ka pumunta? Ay, kasi nag-try pa ako iba. Diba? So parang that's when I realized, this was what my dad was talking about. That he felt like the value of dermatology, the value of skincare hasn't really been in the forefront. And somehow, that's what the good derma wants. To not make patients become afraid of doctors, diba?
Yeah.
Of dermas, but to value that, hey, there's a way that we can provide good skincare, good hair care, that you don't really need to break the bank.
Yes.
But it's something that you can do and it will support you every day.
Yeah.
Diba? It's a partner.
Yes.
And because for
It
me,
can be
that's...
complementary kasi
Diba? Because for me, even as doctors, diba, I think maraming natakot sa ospital.
yes.
Diba?
Super,
Pag
super.
nakakita ka, ayaw mo na
Oo.
because of the pandemic.
Yes.
And somehow, as doctors, that's not something that we want our patients to feel. Diba? We want to be able to bridge that gap. No, we're here to be
Yes.
able to help. We're
Yeah.
here to be able to provide support. So if there are questions that you have about skincare or hair care, it's better
You're
that you
there.
don't go to Dr. Google,
Yes.
who doesn't really have a
So
degree.
do it yourself.
Diba? Or it's better for you to be able to talk to people who are able to understand the language that you need and are able to give you not necessarily very difficult medical advice, but even just good habits that you need to build for your skin and hair.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's just that simple.
True. And currently you're also having two hats. While you are a doctor, you're also an entrepreneur, a woman in leadership actually, for Dermclinic and the Good Derma. So how do you actually balance these two roles and growing the brand?
There's a book called Strengths Finder, so it helps you discover your strengths.
Your
And one of
strength.
my strengths, it's I like arranging. So parang
You're
if
organized.
or things become monotonous, I get bored.
Oh.
So kumbaga, there was a time actually in the early part of my career when I was doing clinics, I got bored. Na parang, this is just it. And then so actually, that's when I realized, I wanted to, it's not that I didn't love treating patients. I loved it. But somehow, there was also something that I wanted to do. So when I was going to my dad's office, I was helping like do troubleshoot some of the administrative stuff. I love doing it. So it's not about really forgetting one thing, but knowing that what I learned here, I can also use
You can
doing
also,
here.
So I think you are an innate problem solver.
Yeah. And I think with my dad, that's also what he did. He didn't really deviate from what he did because even when we're developing products, we're also keeping that in mind. Whatever knowledge that we have for taking care of our patients, we make sure that it's there. Like earlier today, I was just with a team. We were, you asked earlier about developing products. So there
new
are a lot of
products.
things that we're trying to develop. So there are a lot of stages that we have. We have clinical studies, we do testing.
It takes time and
Yeah.
research
So we
talaga.
make sure na, it has to pass through screening. It has to have evaluations by our doctors to be able to make sure that these products are safe. So that's something that we really prioritize and put on the forefront with the Good Derma, with the products of the Good Derma.
Yeah. So currently for your patients, what is the, aside from acne, what is or what are the common skincare problems that are asked or asking for help or needed?
I think for Filipinos, madalas it's yung uneven skin tone. 'Di ba? Kasi aside from acne, madalas dyan ang nangyayari, nag-acne marks.
Yeah.
Nagkaka-scars.
Yeah.
So magkasunod na yon. And then because our skin is also medyo morena, 'di ba? Yung nagda-darken. So ibig sabihin pag naarawan,
Because of the
naggamot,
tropics.
yes, automatic yan. There's uneven skin tone or darkening. So I think yun. Kaya hindi naman, I don't think it's really whitening that people want. It's really just gusto ko pantay. 'Di ba? Gusto ko hindi halata na nagka-pimple ako dati. 'Di ba? So I think it's that. And another maybe is yun nga, contact dermatitis, yung allergies.
Allergies.
Or yon. And I think for the hair naman, it's really about hair fall,
Yes.
hair loss.
Yes.
'Di ba? Even as doctors, we deal with that. I remember having friends from different specialties, and then she just messaged me. Sabi niya, sabi niya, parang nag-hair loss na ako, nag-hair fall na ako, di ba? Because it makes us panic na parang,
Yes, yes.
my hair, it's
Baka
more
I'm
than,
balding. I
di
see
ba?
patches
Even if
dito.
hindi mo pa siya
Oo.
nakikita,
Yes.
you get scared about it because the hair is our crowning glory. Di ba? Minsan, nag-shift and it's
Yes.
affected by stress, especially during the
Oh.
pandemic. Dumami talaga yung
Sa
patients that
hair
I saw that had alopecia.
fall.
The different types. It's not just the areata. Yung areata kasi yung parang maliliit na parang patches that you'd see on the scalp or in the face or even in the beard. But nagkaroon din ng totalis, yung medyo mas widespread, yung
Yes.
affected talaga majority ng scalp. So yung mga ganon. And then, of course, aside from that, meron din kasing tinatawag na male pattern baldness or female pattern baldness.
So does it come with age?
With age and with genetics. For example, your parents, 'di ba? Ba't numipis yung buhok?
May
Kapag
mga
nakita
receding
mo,
hairline na.
So, especially in this day and age that everyone's conscious about how you look. 'Di ba? It's a prime thing na parang you have to look presentable, you have to look like good when you're going
and really
out.
our crowning glory because it can change a face so much.
Yeah.
Even with tweaks lang ng hair, no? So, Doktora, I have so much more questions, especially sa products na naman. So, we'll be taking a short break.
And this break is brought to you by Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Union Bank, it starts with you.
Usapang OFW is the show that honors the journeys of our modern-day heroes, our OFWs. Join Chingmi Fernandez, John Dodson, and Rafi Ayang every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. to hear the real stories behind the sacrifices. Watch it live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune Now on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok.
Want to hear from thought leaders shaping our world? Straight Talk with Chito Lazada and Ted Montalibano dives into leadership, politics, and business every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Catch conversation live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune Now on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok.
And we're back here at Perfect. We're still here with Dr. Angela Pineda, and we're talking about earlier during the commercial. I was mentioning about acne, and it's teen acne that I personally experienced. And good thing that personally, then during my teenage years, I consulted to Dermclinic. So you had like specialized consultations as well as yung mga set. Kung ano yung magiging mas better sa skin type mo. And I really remember having so much acne in my face that I was diagnosed with PCOS. But at that same time, it seemed like no one was really able to treat my acne until I had that, like it was a 3-month and then 6-month program that you had.
Yeah, I think because acne is really a chronic condition. Karamihan actually ng makikita mo, akala mo minsan, rash lang yan, wala lang yan. But most dermatological concerns can really be chronic. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng tumatagal siya. Like alopecia, you can treat it now, but if na-trigger yan ng stress, it can recur.
It can recur.
Yes, or if ever yung mga, yun nga, post-acne, pag scars, o pag gumaling yan ngayon, pag nagkaroon ka ulit, magsa-scar ulit yan. Diba? So, pwede siyang, kaya then, one of the things that I think I realized is dermatology is also one of those specialties na medyo may follow-through. Diba? Kaya nakaka-build ka talaga ng rapport with patients. Kasi, you don't just see them once. You see them after a week, 2 weeks, a month after, just to see, nag-improve na ba? Did it get better? So, yun din yung, I think, fulfilling with dermatology.
So, you see the difference then na stories ng versus ng first time mo siya na-meet versus after the treatments, no? So, for 2026, actually, coming in from 2025, we mentioned earlier the do-it-yourself, like the Google type of research that everyone is trying to do because we are gravely influenced
Yeah.
whatever is in social media and the products that we try. So how do you maintain being competitive for your brand, especially that these are actually what you're competing with?
I think first and foremost, we have to know the what's important ingredients that we put. I think that's one of the things that we have because yun nga, doctors were behind this before me. It was my dad. Na he really made sure that everything that I have in my products, it's no, kung baga, in terms of food, wala siyang additives.
Organic.
Yeah, or
Organic.
it's just really what it's needed. It's a base, whether that's a lotion or a cream, and then the active ingredients. So we're specific. Alam din namin that it's hyposensitive. Ibig sabihin, it's dermatologically tested. Hindi siya yung magkakos ng any irritation. Rather than halu-haluin mo, alam mo yon, tapos it's gonna be too complicated for you to use. So I think that's it. And then secondly, I think we always also look into what's less irritating. 'Di ba? Kasi especially with times before there was a time na yun nga alcohol based kasi kailangan matapang. But if you look at the shift, it's becoming milder.
Yes, yes.
Kasi dumadami yung yung reactions ng balat.
Yes, yeah.
Dumadami yung dry skin, dumadami yung irritation, yung hypersensitivity. That's why we also do those shifts in terms of looking for organic products, those that are more plant-based, less chemical. So we look into those things just to make sure that it's effective.
Yeah. And I think it also shifted when it comes to before kasi we were really into the Western culture. So we idolized them so much to the point na we didn't realize that we had different climates.
Yeah.
So for
true.
the tropics, iba talaga din yung treatment. No? Maybe masyadong heavy or clogs your pores yung mga cream-based or like oil-based. But when it comes to us, mas better yung water-based. So for the tips naman for our katribu, what's your best skincare tips? Not just for the girlies, but for the men.
I think, number one, because of our texture, it's really use sunscreen every day. 'Di ba? Because, yun nga, yung skin natin, arawan ka lang ng konti, 'di ba? Nag-iiba na siya.
Yes.
So that's why it's really use sunscreen because it's your, not just to protect your skin from darkening, but also to prevent aging. Kasi it's the easiest and most cost-effective treatment against aging.
Sunscreen.
Yes,
So, do
sunscreen.
you have specific? Sabi kasi nila it's SPF 50 and above. Is
Well,
that correct?
SPF 30 is
30.
the guideline. At least it should have, to be effective, nandun dapat siya sa SPF 30.
30.
Yeah. Most of the products now are going for SPF 50, 60, or even beyond. But the 50 is already 99% protects your skin from
50.
the sun. But I think what's important then is that you know that it's not, kunyari naglagay ka ng morning and then you've
Yun
been
din eh.
out the whole day. Hindi pwede na, ay, okay na yon.
So you have to reapply.
Yes, the reapplication is also key.
Okay. I think that one is really good advice since we're coming into the summer season sa
Yeah.
Philippines, no? So for the ones that love the beaches, I think this is your product. You also have for
Dermplus.
Oh.
And pag tinignan mo, I was also, yun nga, the good thing with knowing that my dad started it, I was also curious, why did he discover it? And if you look at it, Dermplus is focuses on, it's a moisturizing sunscreen.
Yes.
Diba? Because normally, when you're exposed in the sun, madalas dyan nagdadry yung balat mo.
Yes, yes.
Diba?
True.
And our temperature, our humidity, it really does your skin. Na when you look dry, you look wrinkly, you look older.
Yes.
Yun din siya. That's why it's
Haggard yung
moisturizing sunscreen. Yun din yung value nun. So, sometimes it's the little things that you don't notice that because dermas din yung behind these brands, we make sure that it's there.
Yes.
Yung alam lang natin, it's not just a brand na we're going after the hype. We're putting in what we know will be important for your skin, what will keep your skin healthy.
So for skincare, it's not really just one size fits all. No, it really depends. Syempre, yung mga genetics din.
Yeah.
And does it also affect, like, for example, your diet as well as your sleep?
Yes, it does affect. normally, when your diet, what I advise my patient, kasi I don't really advise patients na don't do that, don't do this, diba? Because most of the patients naman, if their doctor is ganun, bayan si doc, KJ, diba? Wala na. But it's really about teaching them, put everything in balance. Diba? Don't do, if you binge eat tonight, diba? After that, you recover na you balance it. You eat your protein, you eat your carbs, you eat not too much of the oil, of course, because it will affect your skin.
For
Same
oily
din with
foods talaga.
same din with sleep. Of course, when you're active at night, one of the things that I keep reminding patients, especially yung mahilig magpuyat. Diba?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I keep telling them that when you're awake, your oil glands also remain active. So parang ganun siya. That's why nag-hyperdrive din siya. That's why
you need your sleep.
That's why you need during the time kasi it helps you at least reset. So, yung mga ganon, like, it's simple, but sometimes, diba, when we keep hearing, and mostly, I think, since you mentioned about social media, mostly, ang sinasabi, oh, wag mong gawin to, wag mong gawin yan. But you don't really know why. Diba? Because, like, ako, even when I was with my dad, when I was younger, my dad would tell me to use his products, like, the products in the clinic, the anti-acne, and I was like, I never used it. Tapos, I remember there was one time na he looked at me, tapos nakita niya may pimple ako. Sabi, so, hindi niya ako pinagalitan. Ang ginawa niya, he got the paper, and then he drew the skin. I think this was one of my first introductions to why...
You got the lesson.
Yeah, I got interested. Kasi if I tell you to do something, and you don't know why, you're just gonna... I'm not gonna do it. Diba? But because he got the paper, he just drew the skin. Now, when you use this is what it happens. This is what it does. This is what it teaches you. So, yun pala yun. So, dahil na-gets ko na siya, I learned about using it. Okay, nakita mo na yung value.
Yes.
Diba? So, you'd use it because you learn about it. And I think that's one thing that we try to advocate with the good derma. It's not just about, kuha ka, damihan mo ng lagay. Because even if you have the right products, but you don't know what to do with it, how to use it.
And why should you use it?
Sometimes you just leave it there.
Yeah, that is true. And I think for your advocacy, for the most part, you were mentioning as well na minsan takot sa doktor. No, it's good that you have a brand and you have Dermclinic on your 55th year that is able to push this message across to the Filipinos na you can approach us and we have a solution for you and we're able to help you. Not just in the clinics but also to reach you with the product. So for your 55th year, Doctora, so more than honoring your father's legacy, what do we expect or you have in store for this year?
Before the pandemic, one of the things that we frequently did was we really had a lot of skin and hair consultations. We partnered with the major drugstores so that we can do skin consultations, hair consultations. And sometimes that's something that will help bridges the gap. Diba? Madalas tayo mga Pinoy pag bibili, ayaw mo. Pero pag may kakausapin ka, diba, people can teach you how to use it. It educates you eh. So that's one of the things that we prioritize. We have a lot of plans because we wanted to embrace, because my dad has really been big on advocacy. Even before the Good Derma, he's been supporting different groups. We've been partnering with DIFP, which is a foundation for training for doctors, and then we really provide free skincare services, free hair treatments, and we provide even products. We do free consultations, medical missions. So that's something na we provide it in store for you to be to have products available, but we also try to increase our presence in terms of making people feel na hindi pala ganun ka nakakatakot.
Yes.
Diba? And sometimes if you teach them, this is how you use it, this is how you use your skincare, this is how you apply your shampoo, your conditioner, just to make it long-lasting, para hindi ka nagsasayang ng effort, diba? It helps them, and it makes them understand things na, ganun pala. Diba? So I remember there was one time that we visited a jail here in Mandaluyong. So there was a time that we did consultations for around 200.
Wow. Wow.
doctor, 200 patients. And then nagulat kami, pare-pareho ng problema tong mga to. Lahat sila nangingitim na yung face. Yun pala, 'di ba? Pag Pinoy kasi, may parang consideration na pag hindi mo nararamdaman yung sakit,
Yeah.
hindi yan effective.
Oo.
Diba? So, yun pala, lahat sila gumamit ng matatapang na creams. Minix sila, gumawa silang sariling potion.
My.
So, kaya pala, na-irritate na yung skin nila. Na hindi nila alam, ba't pare-pareho kayo ng kulay, ng itsura? Yun pala, isa lang sila ng ginamitan.
Kasi for some, they think na parang pag hindi ko nagagalaw yung pisngi ko
Oo,
after
that's
I
effective.
wash. Oh, that's effective, but it's
But
not
yung hindi nila alam,
necessary.
if you're not careful, if it's too harmful, or nai-irritate na yung skin mo, nararamdaman mo rin yun. It's the stinging sensation na hindi na yan, ibig sabihin, nai-irritate na yung skin
So,
mo.
is it like saying na parang, pause, baka
Yeah,
pwede mo
oo.
munang itigil? Oh,
Actually,
okay.
that's one thing that we usually do as doctors when you're using, pag tinanong kita, kunyari, what are you using? Ay, hindi ko na po alam, ang dami na di ba?
Yun
So, what
lang.
I do is, okay, pause muna tayo with that. Then, let's slowly introduce things. So that malaman natin what your skin reacts with. That's why, tama naman yung sinabi mo kanina, it's really no skincare fits all. Na pag if it works for you, it works for me. Or sometimes, it's how you use it. It's with the habits that you have. For example, if you're too busy, you really can't keep a 10-step regimen.
Yes.
Diba? So, I can't give you a 10-step regimen kasi sayang. If ito lang yung gusto mo, if you're someone who wants naman that skincare is a routine for you, it's relaxing for you, then it's okay for you to keep, not naman a 10 steps siguro, kahit mga 3 or 4 step, just so that it's also relaxing, it's also therapeutic for you.
Okay. Because for some din, no, yung iniisip nila, like, if you use, like, yung uso ngayon, retinol, no? Pero you need pea-size lang pala, and they would use so much because of the things that they've seen online. So, it's nice na you have this advocacy more than just the product, but you're reaching back to the people to really teaching them how to use it and take care of their skin. Kasi it's something that I think lagi lang natin namimiss, na nakikita natin every day ourselves in the mirror, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we know how to take care of it. No? So, Doctora, aside from what you have told us for the plans, any parting words for our katribus, especially for Dermclinic and the Good Derma?
I think one thing that I just wanted to share is just take care of your skin. Because sometimes it might feel like it's not important, but actually when you take care of your skin, it helps build your confidence, diba? It helps build you, and it also enables you to do more of the things that you love, diba? I really had patience. One of the things that I really appreciate about being a doctor and even leading or bearing these products, it's about us really seeing good results. I remember with Regrow, we had an opportunity with my dad na yung Regrow, we looked for patients online na who
Kailangan talaga.
who used Regrow, and it really worked for them. So without us pushing them, they were already advocating for the brand. And then I remember we invited someone who had posts na yun nga, it really helped her grow her hair.
Wow.
And then the first time my dad met her, she cried. Kasi that's how much skincare or hair care affected her. She felt like wala nang chance na tumubo yung buhok niya, wala siyang confidence, wala na siyang future. But that's what it means. And that's when I realized that's what our products aim to do. It's not just about getting what you can, it's just about marketing things, but it's really about empowering confidence and transforming lives. Because at the end of the day, that's where goodness comes in. That's the value that we think we uphold, not just with the Good Derma, but also with Dermclinic. It's really about being able to serve and help people with their skin and hair care problems.
And as a woman leader yourself, what is your advice to women leaders naman out there?
Maybe it's just to embrace the pace that you have. Like, don't really be too I think because of my experience that my dad really allowed me to bloom, not force it. So I think that's it, that don't try to be 10 steps ahead. Diba? Because if you try to be 10 steps ahead, you won't really enjoy the journey. And I think that's one thing that I appreciate with how my dad prepared the way for me,
Yeah.
but at the same time allowed me to really bloom at my own pace, at my own time. There wasn't pressure, but because of that, I was able to enjoy it. I was able to really discover, this is also what I want.
You wanted.
Yeah, this is also how I want things. He didn't really put pressure on, you should be like this, diba? But it's really just knowing that we all have God's given purpose and plan. And if you just embrace that, you don't need to compete with anybody. You just need to do what you're called to do. And you're just flourishing there.
Yes.
And then it would be a good influence, not just for you, but even for those around you.
Yeah. It was really an inspiring talk, Doctora. I've learned so much, especially for my own skincare, as well as, I guess, for the Filipino, and the stories that had, I think, made regrow the brand it is today, as well as for Dermclinic and the Good Derma now. So thank you for reminding us what leadership with a purpose really is, Doctora. And thank you for joining us today at Pairfect. And please, for our katribu, don't forget to follow Daily Tribune for more stories that celebrate purpose, perseverance, and the people who move us. Until next time, I'm Patricia Ramirez, and this has been Pairfect, where every story connects perfectly.
Narito na naman ang inyong lingkod, Manong Joe, para sagutin ang inyong tanong. May tanong tayo mula kay Javier Domingo, isa pong netizen. Manong Joe, paano pag sa Metro Manila tumama ang lindol, handa ba ang Meralco? Ito ang sagot, Javier, at maganda yung tanong mo. Napapanahon talaga na paghandaan ang anumang uri ng sakuna, maging ito'y lindol, malakas na bagyo at kung anuman, sa dami ng kalamidad na nararanasan natin mula sa mga nangyayaring lindol hanggang sa mga pagbaha, malakas na hangin at iba pa, ang kaligtasan ng bawat customer ang prioridad ng Meralco. Tinitiyak namin na ginagawa ang lahat para mapanatiling ligtas at maayos ang aming serbisyo at mga pasilidad. Pinapalitan namin ang mga poste ng mas matibay na gawa sa konkreto at pakal. Inililipat din ang mga poste sa mga lugar na ligtas. Regular na nagsasagawa ng tree trimming at wire clearing ang Meralco para hindi maapektuhan ang mga linya ng kuryente o makayanan ang anumang bagyo o lindol. Nagsasagawa rin ang Meralco ng re-insulation at conductor shielding ng mga linya namin, pagpapatibay ng mga lighting protection system, pati na rin ang pagkakabit ng mga smart device para agad na matukoy ang mga posibleng alalahanin ukol sa serbisyo ng kuryente. Kung kakailanganin, handa po ang Meralco na pansamantalang mag-de-energize upang masiguro ang kaligtasan ng publiko. Kadalasan po namin itong ginagawa kapag tumataas ang tubig baha o di kaya ay napakalakas ng bagyo. Kasama na rin ang uga ng lindol. Pagkatapos naman po ng anuman sakuna, maging po ito'y bagyo o lindol, at may na-damage po kami facilities, bumagsak na linya o ano ba man, huwag ho ninyong lapitan. Hayahan ninyo ang aming mga crew ang gumawa ng kinakailangan para masiguro ligtas ang pagkukumpuni. Kapag sigurado na po tayo na ligtas nang bumalik sa bahay, siguro po tingnan muna natin ang sitwasyon sa loob at siguraduhin din na yung ating mga internal wiring facilities ay nasa maayos na kalagayan. Bago pa man abutin ng tubig baha yung inyong mga outlet, patayin na muna ang main switch sa bahay at i-unplug ang mga appliances. Kung may electrical hazard, agad itong i-report sa amin sa Meralco sa pamamagitan ng My Meralco app. Nasa social media din po kami, Facebook, at X, yung dating Twitter, o sa Meralco hotline bilang 16211. Pwede din kayong mag-text sa numerong ito. Tandaan mga katribo na sa panahon ng kalamidad, ang pagiging alerto at maingat ay susi sa kaligtasan. Ako po muli ang inyong lingkod si Manong Joe, Saldariaga para sa Ask Manong Joe. Hanggang sa muli mga katribo, at sa mga nanonood sa Daily Tribune.